Hello, this is John Sims with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering team. This video will cover Avaya B5800 Branch Gateway Network Discovery and Synchronization using Avaya Aura System Manager. First, a few points about network discovery and synchronization using Avaya Aura System Manager with B5800s. So this is used to discover the B5800 devices when the network is suitable and allowing for it, meaning when the B5800s are able to be polled with SNMP. System Manager needs to then supply the correct username and password when accessing the web services on the B5800. The service account that's shared on the System Manager and on the B5800 is the System Manager B5800 admin account. The System Manager B5800 admin account is a member of the System Manager admin rights group on the B5800, and upon initial discovery, System Manager will use the default password of System Manager B5800 admin, and then it'll be changed to a randomized password from that point forward that System Manager controls. So here we are starting on the landing page of System Manager, and you see I'm going to head to the inventory pages. Under the inventory pages, what we're adding here is a managed element, but we're going to do it through discovery means. So I'm going to inventory management and I'll select configuration. As you see configuration come up, we have to set the SNMP base rule and the subnet to poll against. So I'll click on new, and we're on the SNMP access tab, and I'll set for B5800s we use a version 1 of SNMP, which is a lot less to fill in then. And I'll just give it a plain simple description of B5800, read community string of public. You can build multiple rule sets based on different read connectivity strings if the customer has multiple read community strings to poll against. So we have our SNMP rule in place, and I'm going to go to the subnet tab. In the subnet tab, I'm going to click on new, and you'll see where I have to now provide my first subnet IP address range. So again, if the customer has multiple networks, you would put in a suitable range for each network. And you'll see I'm putting in my subnet range. I want to poll on the 129 network and using a 24-bit mask class. So then I'll also leave it as use subnet version 3 as no. Again, where's version 1 for B5800, which is automatically selected as a gateway global access profile choice. And I'll scroll down, and that's due to the V1 as only having B5800 as the option for V1. And then I'll go ahead and check the SNMP access profile, which is what we created in the previous step. I'll go ahead and select that, and then after that's selected, I'll go ahead and click on commit. So now that that's in place, you see we have a inventory collection opportunity here on this subnet, and again against the profile class of B5800. So now it's time to collect inventory. I'll head to the collect inventory screens or subpages, and you'll see I have the network subnet, which we previously defined, to select from. Again, the customer may have many different subnets to choose from. So I'll select that subnet, and then if I scroll down, I'll also select the device type, and in this case it's the B5800 Branch Gateway. Now we have that option there to clear previous results. I'll leave that be. We also have an option to schedule, which a scheduler app page presents itself, so you can schedule this to repeat daily or weekly or whenever you need to. I'm not going to schedule that in this demonstration. So again, it's making me reset this form page because I hit cancel. So I'll scroll down again, and I'll pick the subnet and the B5800 Branch Gateway, and I'll tell it to now run now. So right now we're seeing no status until I hit the refresh link. So I'll click on the refresh link, and you'll see that it's starting to probe the network. So while it's probing the network, I'm going to head into System Monitor and go to Filters Trace Options. And then under the Services tab, I'm going to select my SNMP events at the top of this. Received Message Processing, Trap Generation I might as well do while I'm there, and var bind processing. Then I'll select OK. So that way we can see in System Monitor when this branch gateway is being polled by System Manager, when var binds are being collected in the form of protocol data units. So we're back on the System Manager pages and we see we're making progress. I'll hit refresh and we'll see what IP it is now probing. So we finally get to the point where, as you see me hit refresh many times, where we are actually collecting inventory status from the B5800 in question. So back in System Monitor, you'll see where we're starting to send PDU data units back to System Manager, and it's processing, stepping through the MIB and stepping through and polling the unit and collecting var bind information on this unit. So you see here, I'll pause this scroll, I pause the trace, and you'll see where we're sending a response in PDU format back to System Manager to process from the branch gateway. Now back in our inventory screen, you'll see where collection status set to idle. If I refresh this, we also see that the status on that window is also set back to idle. So our polling of the branch gateway is complete. If we head to manage elements, we'll sort on the table. I'll select show all, and then I'll go ahead and just kind of shortcut this by going to type, and then under type I'll click on it and let it sort. And B5800 being a B is at the top of the list, and you see now that the second one down that we've added the SIMS B5800 Branch Gateway automatically now as a managed element. You see the IP address, the type, and under the description it's actually giving us the version that is running, version of software for this branch gateway. If I click edit, because I have selected it down below, you see how it has its information in the managed element, information that we can pre-populate manually if we want to build this managed element manually, but Discovery does it automatically for us. It's set for V1, read community string public, based on our SNMP rule. And under the attributes section, it's a very important part here where we have the System Manager B5800 admin account and a service password that's been pre-populated or preset. Now System Manager will now control that password and randomize that password for us. So I'll click cancel. That's just a tour of the freshly added managed element that was automatically added through our Discovery means. So now it's time to head to Synchronization, and we have an option of Communication Manager or B5800 Branch Gateway. We'll select B5800 Branch Gateway, and the first one on the list is the SIMS B5800 that we just added. So I'll select it, and then we see that on this IP address it's synchronized and it's completed. You see where the date, I'm about to click on the date of September 20th here at 4:15 p.m. You see I'm just making this fresh and current, that it just completed and synchronized since we added it into the System Manager system as a managed element. But I'm going to go ahead and test this synchronization one more time. We can select user data or system configuration and users, which System Manager can synchronize on. So I'll select system config and users, and again we have a schedule option, but I'm going to select the now feature or function to click this off now and get this task started. If I hit refresh, you'll see that it's starting, and if I hit refresh again, you'll see that it's completed. It happens very quickly in this case. Just a bit more information. If you want to check on those jobs of synchronization, head to the scheduler pages in System Manager, because that's actually handled, those synchronization jobs are actually handled and completed by the scheduler application framework. So what we'll do here is, you see here in the list, we had our inventory collection, which was a scheduled job and ran to completion, our get inventory. We can view logs on these completed jobs by clicking down on more actions, view log. You actually have to click over on that hyperlink, and then if you were to want to dig into the log and get a little more information, this is one way to do it without actually going to actual logs on the System Manager file system. We can select the log in question and then view, and the log viewer will bring up more detail in the log in case you're fishing around for a little more detail or a little more information of the scheduled job. And of course you have completed jobs and pending jobs. You'll see where we clicked off a synchronization of both system config and user. That's the one we did together just before. And again, if we want a little more detail, again, we do view more actions in view log. And we see that we have a success result as was reported. Now, I'll cover in another video. This is exactly where we'll run to troubleshoot issues as well with any kind of synchronization. Again, back to the scheduler service. So now that we're fully synchronized with System Manager, I want to show you something on the Manager client where we try to individually manage a B5800. So I'm going to log in, and you get this message here. It's very important. IP Office is under Network Management Administration, which means it's under centralized control and management by System Manager, or previously by Network Manager. But in starting with 6.2, it's System Manager. Now, you're never locked out, as you'll see me now log into the security side of the configuration of a B5800. That is always going to be available. You can always pull the security configuration side. So you see me logging in and pulling a security configuration into the Manager client. And what you'll see here is I'll head to Services. And under Services, there's just an important service to point out, and that's the Web Services service. And it's set to Secure High. Every transaction between the B5800 and the System Manager server is through this Web Services service. And then under Configuration, you see that toggle checkbox where we have under System Manager Administration. So if you wanted to open up the system to be able to be managed by B5800 again, you would uncheck that, click OK, and save up your security config. I'm going to leave it as under System Manager Administration. And the System Manager B5800 admin account we spoke of many times, well, here is where it is. It's a service user. It's part of the System Manager admin group, and there's the password. Again, it's been controlled right now by System Manager, so there's nothing we need to do to manage this at this time because everything is synchronizing just fine. And this completes our demonstration. Thank you for your time today. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details or related information, please visit support.avaya.com. Thank you for choosing Avaya.